NBC's Arthur Kent and Mike Boettcher standing side by side now with an update on the situation there. Arthur, let's begin with you.
Tom, in the last hour, we've seen about 18, perhaps 20 US F-15 interceptors take off from here, and also a flight of 12 Kuwaiti aircraft, A-4 Skyhawks, the aircraft that managed to get away when Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. The Kuwaiti aircraft can't fly at night. This may, in fact, be their first sortie. They were bearing long-range tanks under the aircraft belly, and they took off in the direction of their homeland, Kuwait, and Iraqi forces there. Mike?
Ever since the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, and since the first day of the planning for Operation Desert Shield, which has become Operation Desert Storm, everyone wondered how Iraq would react if there was an attack.
Saudi Arabia braced for a counterattack. Across the kingdom, air raid sirens warned civilians and soldiers to take cover. Scud missiles had been detected in the air and heading towards Saudi Arabia. There was a rush to the bomb shelters. Refuge was sought in basements. Protection would be provided by chemical suits. People in Saudi Arabia had been warned that in the event of an attack against Iraq, Saddam Hussein would probably retaliate with chemical weapons. The warning was taken seriously. American soldiers took cover too. All the time, they kept their weapons loaded and ready. After it became clear that no missiles had reached this location in eastern Saudi Arabia, the all-clear was given.
There is no real threat here yet.
A rush of sound and a dot of fire against the moonless night were proof that American and British fighter jets were in the air and conducting combat operations. Early reports indicated that their missions were successful.
All aircraft returned safely. Operations continue.
In the lobby of a hotel near an important American airbase in northeast Saudi Arabia, Muslims faced Mecca and prayed to Allah. One of them was a Kuwaiti refugee who hoped to be returning home soon.
I feel very, very comfortable.
If early reports of the success of the Desert Storm operation are correct, his prayers might indeed be answered.
It may be some time before he knows if his prayers are indeed answered. And it will probably be even more time before we know if Iraq has the capability to still launch a counterattack against Saudi Arabia after tonight's action.
Mike Boettcher and Arthur Kent, thanks very much. What are you hearing from the American military officers who have been assigned to you as information officers? Are you getting, in fact, any information from them?
Tom, we're still in the infancy of this operation, and the public affairs officers have been very tight-lipped all night. They've been eager to point us toward Riyadh and toward Washington for information, not too forthcoming with any solid information on the ground here. We are, of course, pressing. Unfortunately, it's an overcast sky today, a bit cloudy, and Mike, we haven't been able to see or count or verify returning aircraft coming back from Kuwait.
And this business of the Defense Department pools and the video that we have seen so far, mostly of fighter planes taking off and some ground troops in a forward position. Have you heard from any of the people assigned to the pool? For example, your colleague Brad Willis, has he checked in at all?
We haven't heard from Brad yet. Gary Matsumoto, another correspondent, was activated sometime last night. We understand he is coming back from an air base, and we should be able to talk to him. Brad Willis, Jeff Riggins, the cameraman, Peter Sampson, the sound man, we have not heard from them for a day, but they're with the Marines. We're sure they're okay, but no word from those pools. All we're seeing are takeoffs and landings and minor things at the present time.
Tom, if I may, Mike, it's striking in that here today, as this major operation is underway, we feel very much in the hands of the U.S. military. Our people, our camera people, sound people, correspondents are taken from us, literally scrambled as the aircraft are, sent to destinations unknown, not of our choosing. Certainly we're interested in reporting fully everything we can, but it's more or less a case of the U.S. military deciding where they will take us and what window on this operation they will provide us.
All right, gentlemen, and tell me about the Saudis. There has been a sizable contingent around the hotel there from the Saudi government, of course. Adil Al-Jabeer, who's from the Prince Bandar staff, and other people there who've been trying to help you. Are you hearing from them now at all?
We heard earlier from them about the fact of the launchings of Scud missiles towards Saudi airspace, and the really only substantial report we've had so far from them was that at that time, no Scud missile had reached Saudi airspace. Later on, it seems that Scud missiles did come into Saudi territory. We're still trying to get a complete confirmation on that. But at the present time, not a lot of information coming out on Saudi television at the present time. There are speeches, patriotic music being played, pep talks. Saudi commanders are now speaking to the nation. It was pre-recorded material of them saying that they were winning this war and trying to get the spirit of the nation up. They're trying to reassure the nation. But very little hard information right now, Tom.
Thanks very much, Mike Boettcher and Arthur Kent. In Saudi Arabia, we have some late pictures, I think, from the Defense Department pool over there. Most of the pictures that we have seen so far have been on the ground and at night. This, again, is another Air Force base, and we do not know, those appear to be very recent because they're daytime photos. One of the big cargo planes that could be carrying troops or material, as you can see the desert dunes in the background. I think what we're looking at here, I'm not an expert on this kind of stuff, but I think what we're looking at here are F-16s now. It's a different craft with a single rudder. Fred, help me out with that.
That's right. Those are F-16s, which were not used in the night assault because most F-16s cannot attack at night, and landing behind the F-16 in the background was an Air Force C-130. And here you're looking at ordnance bombs, which will be laced up underneath those bombers, and these look to be. I'm not quite sure what that is. It looks to be like an F-111 or an F-15 there, and get a closer look.
It's too big for an F-15.
Yeah, that's right. That's an F-111 bomber, and that looks like a 2,000-pound bomb there. And it also has some other missiles laced up underneath the wing here, Tom. And the turnaround time on these things is 15 to 20 minutes, and obviously this was. There don't seem to be any great urgency putting these things on. Most of these, that's a laser-guided smart bomb there. And the way that works, Tom, is that from the belly of the F-111, a laser locks onto the target. And once there's a lock-on to a target on the ground, the bomb is released, and it follows the laser into the target. And if you'll remember that dramatic video of the F-111 bombers dropping their bombs on the airport in Tripoli, Libya, that's how that was done, with the laser locking onto the target and the bomb following it in. And they are reputed to be so accurate that they can hit a target within 15 feet of that laser lock-on. And of course, that didn't happen in Libya. There's a great downfall to this type of weapon, Tom, that if there's any dust, serious dust in the air, or serious smoke in the air, or serious bomb debris from the previous bomb, the laser lock-on is broken. And that's how the French embassy was hit in Tripoli with one of those bombs. And again, that appears to be an F-111 getting ready.
Yeah, well, now we've just taken another look at an F-16 out there. We don't know where this airbase is, obviously. These are pictures that have been released by the Defense Department. They've had a very tight rein on American reporters and their ability to move around. In Saudi Arabia, they're releasing just exactly what they wanted to. We have yet to receive anything that looks like the attack taking place, although there was one earlier picture of some F-15s taking off. General William Westmoreland once complained in his words that Vietnam was the first war fought without any censorship, and as a result, things got terribly confused in the public mind. That was not lost on this generation of military leaders.